Wait. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. So I haven't been live in so long that for those of you that know me and have watched me in the past or experienced some of my poetry or art or whatever I've done on here, I apologize for however long it's been. And setting this up was a little bit of a challenge. I'm trying not to use profanity in my life these days. So um the other word that I wanted to say starts with an S, and if you if you know me, you know what it is. um so what's my comment here? Okay. Um so what am I doing here? And oh my god, I was supposed to go live at 3. It's 4. That should tell you a little bit about how what was the word I used? How challenging this was and has been. So here I am, and like I said, it's been a hot minute since I live streamed anything. I was almost nervous to do it. And so first of all, so that was the first thing, is that it's been so long. The second thing is that I have a new microphone, and just amazing difference. It's like not even like the top of the line best thing ever, or anything like that. Um, However, it's definitely an improvement. Unfortunately though, could not find for the life of me my computer, the camera, my other camera, my external camera. And so I'm using the camera on my actual laptop, which I had stopped using a long time ago because I had gotten a nicer camera. So I have no I'm using the laptop's camera, which isn't terrible actually. I was looking at this, like it actually I can see some of my art on the back, and it actually is not bad. It's not terrible. So it's kind of ironic that I have way better sound, but yet you know, here I go. And so I I'm just gonna, like, take my time, and I don't know, I might do this real quick. I might be here for an hour. I have no idea. All I do know is that part of why I'm coming live is to get back in touch and get back in connection with all of my lovely, lovely people that have followed me over the years, followed some of my stories, followed the process of going from someone who never showed her art ever to anyone, to the woman I am today. And I recently, earlier this year, a couple months ago actually, um, jotted down a list of all of the people that have bought art from me, and I stopped being able to think of who after I got to like 40 names or something like that. And that may not be a lot to some artists, to other artists in the world, artists that have sold a whole lot more than that. But for me, again, to go from someone who would never show anything to anyone, to go from that to someone who can name that many people that have bought my art, a lot of art. I have a lot more art that's unsold. But I had to do the list, and I had to make the list because I am still and can be prey to my own insecurities and tell myself that putting paint to canvas or sketching or anything like that, oh, it's a waste of my time. Man, no, it's not. Um, and so it's been a very satisfactory journey, and emotionally, soul level, it's been quite amazing. It's really actually been quite perfect. And I think that it's good that there's been this gradual progression of increase, because I think if I had gotten too much too soon, I wouldn't have appreciated it, and I certainly wouldn't have be sitting here today just floored by how many people out there have read one of my books, read one of my poems, bought one of my paintings. It's a big number. to me it is. Like recently my Ruminations with God Volume 1 sold a copy in India. And I don't know about anybody else. It's one copy in another country, but to me, I felt like a bestseller. I'm like, "Yay!" And, so before I, I kind of was gonna do this backwards. I was gonna talk about volume 2 that's gonna come in January, but because I'm working on it and it's primarily written. I'm just expanding and editing and laying out the format. But so volume 2 is coming, but volume 1 is still very, very much worthy to, include in your life if you are looking to enrich or connect with God in a relationship type sense. And it's a 21-day workbook that's intended to be very simple, very basic, very reflective, without feeling like you're doing an actual workbook. It does have notes pages, but it's not like, here's your assignments. It's not like that. And it has poetry in it. And so it's a really, I like it. And I just recently, um, I wanted to have it with me today. And of course, completely failed miserably to have a copy of it. I stopped sharing that screen because I realized I want to do this differently. I have another screen I would like to share. Oh, that's so weird. Now it's telling me I can't share it. Tap. So, I have to go click on it. That's so not even make sense. Share. Oh my God. Window. StreamYard Studio. Romeo's 2. No. Yeah. Choose what to share. Site. I apologize. Why this is complicated, I have no idea. My browser blocked my screen. Click the screen icon in your address bar to allow access. What this page is accessing? I don't know what that means, you guys. So stupid. What? Click the screen icon in your address bar. There is no screen icon in the address bar. Oh, here we go. Always continue allowing. Done. Okay. It's very stupid. It wants me to reload the page. Well, if I reload the page, I think I lose my stream. That's stupid. Always block. Man, this page needs to be reloaded. Oh, dude. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. All right. So I'm going to see if I can. I was going to try to just pull it up online, but you know what? This thing's being a pain. So, okay. So let me see how this will look if I actually open from the desktop. When I watch live streams and people are doing what I'm doing right now, I actually get really, really bored and really annoyed really fast. And I'm like, get your shit together. I can't help but cuss. And I'm sitting here doing this and going, oh my God. Oh my God, I did it. I actually did it. Now I'm that girl. Oh my God. Ruminations, day 6, whatever. No, that's not going to work. You know what? I give up. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done trying to share the screen. Okay. So if you watch this later and you find this later and you come across it, and if you've gotten this far, I want to tell you I love you for putting up with me. So Ruminations on a Shooting Star was volume 1. And it is something where I'm going to just go ahead and hit Wow. Wow. I think that worked. It's it says I'm still live. Okay, so now will it let me actually share the site that I wanted to share? And I hope so, because if it does, then I won't sound like a complete moron when I'm trying to say or share what I'm talking about. It's still telling me that I can't share a tab. I don't know what that screen icon, what is it even talking about? Stop. Stop with your bad self. Screen icon. Your browser has blocked your screen. I give up. I officially give up. Okay. All right. Well, I think I put information in the stream in terms of links and stuff of where things are. Ruminations on a Shooting Star was volume 1, and it's 21 days of ruminations with God, and it has a layout similar to a workbook, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a workbook because all it really is a page for notes. It gives you the opportunity to put your notes in there. And what's nice about that is as you're reading the Bible verse or the scripture, or you're reading the reflection, you can take notes if you want. You don't have to, but basically, it's a self reflection guide of ruminating with God. It provides a 21-day spiritual guidance, wisdom, creative inspiration for the reader for daily enlightenment and strengthening their connection to God. And it has note pages and space for the reader to utilize for their own musings and notes. Volume 2, the one that I am working on now, finalizing now, is going to be coming out in January of 2024. And what's really cool about that one is that it is going to have quite a bit more of some of the things that will be in Ruminations. Um, oh my God. So the second volume, I've lost my train of thought because I'm still kind of allowing the technical stuff to get in my head and make me bothered by it, and I'm like, I really want to show them this. And so anyway, so I have on my screen one of the illustrations from volume 2, and it's a woman's head bust, kind of. Well, there is no bust, but it's the head, um and there's no face. And part of that is because volume 2 is going to be creating with God. It's 21 days creating with God, and it's technically 21 days of God's handiwork. And it's going to talk about um of course, God is our creator. God is the creator, and I am his handiwork, as the Bible verse says. And so what we're going to do for 21 days in that book is we're going to take 21 days utilizing creative ways to deepen that connection with God. And the reason the series is called Ruminations on God, or Ruminations with God, is because ruminations is a word that can be very negative. It can come off as very negative. And a lot of people, and it is, if you look up the definition, but that's not the only definition. And that's what I love about words. They usually have way more than one meaning. And I have gotten really good at being studious and diligent in looking up the other parts of it. Ruminating can be positive, and it can be a productive experience. And so when you ruminate with God and you do like what this in the book, you give yourself an opportunity of taking those ruminations that may be negative otherwise, but then you get to do something with them in a creative way, or a spirit, not religious, spiritual way. Well, religious if you'd like, it's fine. That's totally fine. I don't mean to sound like that's not okay. Um, I try to keep my books very welcoming and open regardless. of whether someone is utilizing that word or however they're choosing to define themselves or not define themselves. And volume 2 is definitely going to explore that even further in terms of ex, um, inclusionary types of verbiage, rather than excluding, because even the way we say things can exclude certain people from feeling like they're connecting to us. And so I'm going to try to make that a little different. And so that's going to happen in volume 2. And so I'm still working on the illustrations, and I'm working on some of the creative activities each day. I only have 21. I have them all kind of planned out and plotted out, and so I know what they are. And this one on the screen, for example, this woman with no face, part of that creative experience is being able to create our own image based on reminding ourselves what God's image of us is. We are his children, we're his daughters, we're his um and sons. um and a lot of times I'm definitely guilty of it. We forget, we forget whose image we were created in. And so to be able to go through 21 days of God's handiwork and spending time with what we were told and what we were reassured and what we've been promised, that's kind of the gist of volume 2. Is it's not only that process, but it's also utilizing creating, in this case, our own image, whether that is sketching or taking this artwork that I have, like I said, this illustration in front of me. And another part of this particular day in the 21 days is going to be taking a picture of ourselves and putting it in that spot. And so this picture of the girl with no face is really just a representation of the activity for the day. Um, and in other cases, I'm sure, because I'm glad I'm even talking about it here. Part of why I wanted to come on today and go live after all this time and start talking about it was because there's some things that I want to do for the book that I didn't even know I wanted to do for the book. And sometimes I have to talk about it with other people, or I have to be on here with you. And so, for example, not having a face on this woman's head, one of the benefits to that is it gives me the opportunity of, like I said before, giving, me reflecting on my image. But it also gives me the opportunity to be reassured that what my beauty attributes might be, okay, outside of this hair she's got, right? um, it's in here, like who I am as a person, what I am as a human being, or however you want to word that statement. What's out here, that's just skin and eye color and hair color and skin tone and that kind of stuff. And so the other part of why this particular illustration, and at this point in the formatting of volume 2, it is day 1, so that's also partially why I picked it. And so it has a lot to do with leaving out a face and leaving out any kind of sketching of the face in my sketch. Leaves it open for any woman that could potentially ever pick up this book. And, there are actual cultures and such that wouldn't have the hair shown, which is fine. I may explore that in my illustrations. I have every capability of illustrating more than just one option. And I might do that. I may, by the time it's not that difficult to change this to no hair. So we shall see. We shall see. But yes, volume 2 will be, it is Ruminations with God, which is the series that it's in. And it's all part of a series of books that I do under the subtitle or subheading, the series heading, called Diva Daily Living, which I also have a coloring book and a children's coloring book. And I know there's something else in that series and I'm forgetting it. But all of it, like all of those go under a series I have on Amazon, called Faithful Servant series. And I recently changed those line of books to be under that series so that for me, mm, I needed to have a drink. I like my books like that. I like them to have a series or to have a genre. I mean, they're in certain genres, but I like it that way. I get very organized. So, okay, so with that, we just passed the 20-minute mark, and I am going to have this woman cover up my screen. How do I do that again? I forget. I wonder if it takes my mic out of there. I can never remember. I think it's this one. Yes. Or is it that? So this is good. I'm still in the corner. That takes me out of the corner. I think I'm gonna put myself back. Not that I really care. It's irrelevant, but so I'm gonna go back to the in here. Okay. I'm gonna actually play a sonnet that's going to be in volume 2. And for those that don't know me personally, this may or may not matter, but I know for those that do, especially some of my closer friends and definitely my son, my oldest boy, I'm not a fan of following rules when it comes to poetry. Um, However, a couple 2 years ago, I explored haikus, and I do have volume 2 of my haiku book written. I just haven't done the art yet, and I have every intention of doing that. Things just come in my queue the way they come in my queue. I can't tell you. I don't know. But it's kind of fun because I don't have anyone breathing down my neck to do any of this stuff. It's just the way my head works, and my heart, and I feel like it's the way the creator works on my heart. That's a better way of putting it. So anyway, but I did want to challenge myself, and I wanted to learn some structure, and I wanted to learn some different poetry standards in terms of structured poetry. And I chose to go to the master, or one of the masters, in my opinion. This particular sonnet is based on the formatting of a Shakespearean sonnet. There's another type of the Italian sonnet, and I may attempt to do one just because I'm giving myself that exposure and that challenge to different ways of doing things. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to doing another one, and this is the first one. And so I'm gonna play it, and it'll end today for us. It's not that long. I wanna say it's a minute long. Um, but I will hang out with you while I'm gonna mute my mic, and I'm gonna hit play on the sonnet. Narrated by Doris Faye Jones. My wings have grown, escape away is mine. The sky waits free ahead for me to soar. But first these chains must break my heart from thine, to find a new love pure and hurt no more. Slip past the flare and heat to find calm love, a love so true and bright without the fight. Flutter on hope among the clouds above, to life worth living in peace and delight. Cast down with grit these shackles holding me. Shed all the lies of your cruel dark heart. Rescind all access and take back the key. Change the locks to my passions and depart. With my wings spread wide and eyes open high, to this cage in you I bestow goodbye. Sonnet 1, written and narrated by Doris Faye Jones. My wings have grown. So, whew, I am so impressed with the difference in recording now with the microphone that I have. I'm on top of a couple of other projects, as I've clearly been talking about. I'm going to round out the last few minutes of today's stream. I think I am going to make the 30-minute mark my done time. So that sonnet was a new experience, a new challenge. It is technically, I think, correct. And the only reason I say I think is because I'm a little confused on the difference between the stressed versus the unstressed syllable. They have the right rhyming. It has the right rhyming to a Shakespearean sonnet, and I stuck to the iambic pentameter. Um, but then I put it through one of those syllable things, so I know it has all the right syllables. But I still wonder, like my head goes, I need to understand if it's just about different syllables or if there's something to the way it's supposed to sound. That's a piece I have every intention of getting more information and getting more research out there. So I'm not going to try to advocate to anyone who hears that sonnet or experiences it or reads it. I'm not going to try to tell any of you that it's perfect or that it's done exactly right because it's my first attempt at a sonnet. I know that I got the rhyming right, and I know that I got the 10 syllables per line right. Okay. And the ta-dum thing. Okay. I know that part's all in there, but it still makes me wonder. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's the first time for me. So, I was just super proud that I even tried it, and that I allowed myself to learn something structured and put something out there that's structured. So, I did put it on my SoundCloud. I put a little bit of music to it. That's not my music. That's music from another free site that I use. I may put my own music to it and put it on my Ditto and put it out to Apple as a single. Who knows? All I know is that I'm still excited that this microphone is so rad. And the reason part of it is because I'm actually recording one of my poetry books. I'm recording the audio tracks to put an audio book on Audible, and I've been working on that for a long time, and rightly so. Audible's requirements are very, very strict, and your audio has to be pristine. It has to be really, really good. And I'm glad because I listen to audiobooks on Audible, and I wouldn't want to listen to an Audible book that was horrible sound. That would annoy me. So I'm glad that this microphone is actually working out because I'm about halfway through that album. Oh, I called it an album, but it's an audiobook. Sorry. Um, and I also played around today and practiced on my hymn that I have. And the other problem I had, and the reason I got a new mic was because I kept trying to utilize this old recorded, and I know that that has something to do with where that camera is with the microphone. But anyway, one of the reasons why, another reason I got the mic. What was I even saying? Oh my God. Okay, I have 2 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up real fast. So anyway, I tried it today. I practiced the hymn today, playing my ukulele with the actual word, singing the song and singing to the words. And it actually came out really good. And I have to tell you, I was very happy, um, and very impressed that I could like strum on the ukulele and sing, and that the microphone actually kept my voice volume to be exceedingly above the ukulele, because the first time I tried to ever record that song, I actually have it on my YouTube. It's really hard to hear me, and I am not the greatest singer. Okay, I'm just not. And the worst thing in the world, on top of not being like a great singer, is having a horrible microphone that makes you even worse. So I'm going to let you go. I'm rounding out the 30 minutes, yo. I learned how to play ukulele play. I have no idea. Okay, I'm trying to rhyme. Okay, anyway. All right, you guys, have a good day, and hope everyone else out there, anyone who might catch this, may God bless you and keep you until the next time. And I do hope to be back more often than I had been, which was nothing. So Have a great rest of your Sunday. Mwah! In stream. It did not. Oh, what is it doing? It wants me to end right at the exact 30-minute mark.